Good evening, everyone.
Buenas tardes, todo el mundo.
Tonight we're going to talk about how God's kingdom engages with the kingdom of Satan.
Hoy vamos a hablar cómo el reino de Dios se enfrenta al reino de Satanás.
And so we want to start off with a scripture.
Voy a empezar con una lectura de la Biblia.
This is Revelation 12:10. It says, "And I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, Now the salvation and the power of the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down, who accuses them day and night before our God."
Esta es Apocalipsis 12:10. Luego oí en el cielo un gran clamor. Han llegado ya la salvación y el poder y el reino de nuestro Dios. Ha llegado ya la autoridad de su Cristo, porque ha sido expulsado el acusador de nuestros hermanos, el que los acusaba día y noche adelante de nuestro Dios.
So one of the things we've been talking about as we go through this class is the idea of power and authority.
Una de las cosas que hemos hablado en esta clase es sobre el poder y la autoridad.
And whether you follow animism or not is probably going to be determined on how you answer those questions of who has a power and who has authority.
Si sigues el animismo o no, dependiendo de cómo sigues esto, va a ser si sigues la autoridad o si tienes la autoridad o tienes el poder.
And in this passage we see that God has the authority.
En este pasaje vemos que Dios tiene la autoridad.
God has the power.
Y Él tiene el poder.
And the one who has been fighting against him this whole time is finally cast down.
Y el que ha estado peleando contra él todo este tiempo finalmente se le pone abajo.
And so I want this to kind of open up our conversation for tonight as we talk about two different kingdoms.
Quiero que esto sirva para que se abra la conversación de los dos reinos diferentes.
And so now I want to welcome up to the stage Tony Kolluri. He's going to share about animism in India.
Ahora quiero que Tony Glory hable del animismo en India.
TK. Good evening. Good evening. All right, so today I was given the task to explain some of the things that people from India, people living in the subcontinent, and people who have moved over from the Indian subcontinent over to many different places in the world. I'm talking, sorry. All right, so just to explain some of the things about the Hindu worldview.
Hoy me dieron la tarea de explicar un poquito de las cosas de India, de las personas que vienen de India acá a Estados Unidos o en India practican.
So for us to get started to have a foundational understanding, we want to get an idea about what their idea of God is.
Primero tenemos que entender fundamentalmente la idea de qué Dios es para ellos.
So to begin with, Hinduism is polytheistic and pantheistic at the same time.
Para empezar, el hinduismo es politeísta y panteísta para empezar.
So I use both of those terms because Hinduism has both of those shades, and there's like a small difference between those two terms.
Yo uso eso porque los dos términos tienen una pequeña diferencia y explican mucho al hinduismo.
So we know that word poly means many, and theistic means many gods, right?
Sabemos que poli significa muchos y politeístas significa muchos dioses.
And pantheistic, the word pan means all, and theistic is, again, God. So pantheistic is everything is God.
Panteísta, pan significa todo y teísta significa Dios, o todo es Dios.
So there are some terms over there in the slide that we would like to get acquainted with to understand what Hindus mean when they talk about these things.
Hay unos términos en la diapositiva que quisiéramos ver para ver cómo explicamos los términos mucho mejor.
The first one is Atman, which is basically the soul, like your deep inner life.
El primero es Atma, que significa el alma.
Right? So they do believe that we all are souls. We all have a deep inner life that everybody has.
Eso significa que todos tenemos una vida dentro que vive.
Another term we need to get acquainted with is called Brahman, who is the ultimate being.
El otro término es Brahman, que significa el ser supremo.
So the way they conceive of the ultimate being is that the entire universe itself is Brahman.
Una de las maneras de que ellos pueden explicar eso es que todo el universo es como Brahman.
And all of the rest of the pieces in the universe, like the planets, the earth, the stars, and the human beings and everything, they all are forms, or they share the ultimate essence of the being himself.
Entonces también dice que todas las cosas del universo, como las estrellas y los soles, son la esencia del Brahman.
And sometimes it's hard for us to understand, because the ultimate being, even when we say that the ultimate being, it's not a person. It's an entity, right? So, we cannot say Brahman created the world, like in a Christian way we say God created the world. That's not the way. Brahman is the ultimate entity.
Muchas veces es difícil cuando usamos este término, porque a diferencia de Dios, que uno puede decir Dios creó el universo, Brahman es como una entidad, no es un ser.
So it's an entity, not a person. So that's the foundational difference there.
Es una entidad, no una persona. Esa es la diferencia fundamental.
Next term there is moksha. Moksha, sometimes you hear another term very closely related. I didn't put it over there, but it's also called nirvana, right? So moksha means ultimate liberation.
El otro término es moksha, que significa liberación o iluminación. Otra manera que se llama ese término es nirvana.
Yeah. So it is kind of equivalent to Christian way of saying salvation. But we know as Christians, we understand that we are being saved from something, right? We were in an ultimate danger, like the wrath of God. But that's not what they say. But it is sort of a liberation from the current existence to a free existence.
Es una manera de que los cristianos pudiéramos usar liberación, así como nosotros podríamos liberarnos de que la ira de Dios. El término moksha es como liberación para el cristiano.
All right, so the next term there is karma. And karma is a principle. It's a law of cause and effect.
El término que viene es karma, y karma es como un principio, es la ley de causa y efecto.
And I want to caution my friends over here, American friends, is that karma, in the way we are using in the West right now, is not the way Indians ever use it.
Yo quiero darle una precaución a mis amigos americanos, porque la manera en que estamos usando la palabra karma aquí en el Oriente, no es Occidente, no es la manera en que se usa la palabra karma en el Oriente.
Sometimes we hear, I've got good karma, so it's coming back to me. So we kind of have a tamed version of that word, but it is much more complex in the way Indians understand it.
A veces decimos que tenemos un buen karma que está regresando a nosotros, y tenemos una mala definición de karma, de lo que karma realmente es.
Is it bad karma that we've been using it incorrectly this whole time?
Well, so the way we understand karma goes back to, it's very closely associated with Hindu understanding of reincarnation, right? So you accumulate good karma so that you would get better life in the next incarnation, right? So in the West, the way we use it right now has no attachment to that at all, right?
So, la manera de que dice que se usa karma es que karma, tú acumulas buen karma para cuando tengas reencarnación, tengas una buena vida después de la reencarnación, que acá en Estados Unidos o aquí en el occidente no se está utilizando la palabra karma como realmente se debe utilizar.
Yeah, so the idea of karma is tied to the Hindu understanding of life itself. You know, we are all in this endless cycle of lives. So human beings are part of the animal kingdom and plant kingdom as well. And we take different forms in each life. And your accumulation of good karma will get you better life next time.
Lo que está diciendo que siempre hay un ciclo sin terminar de la vida y que los seres humanos forman parte del reino de las plantas y el reino de los animales. Entonces, dependiendo de cuando moramos o no, podríamos venir como un animal o como una planta.
And you know, your day-to-day normal casual Indian person would not, you know, fully be thinking about these things, right? But the way we use karma is always in a negative way.
El indio casual día a día no piensa en el karma, pero siempre que piensa en el karma se piensa de una manera negativa.
Sometimes you would hear like, oh, my karma, my dad died.
Muchas veces pensaría, tengo mal karma, mi padre murió.
Oh, my karma, you know, I got this great loss in my business.
O yo tengo, mi negocio tuvo una pérdida muy grande.
So that's the way that term is used. It's always used in a negative sense. It's something that bad has happened that has actually stopped you in the progress that you're making.
Siempre se usa con una connotación negativa, es algo que te detiene del progreso que estás teniendo.
All right, the next term that I have there is samsara, is the cycle of life that I just mentioned a moment ago. It's the cycle of lives.
El otro término es samsara, es el ciclo de la vida.
And the next term that I have there is avatar. You know, we all are familiar with the movie Avatar. Avatar means the incarnation.
El otro término es avatar, todos estamos casi familiarizados con la película. Avatar significa encarnación.
So there are many gods in the Hindu worldview, you know, and the avatar means the incarnation of the creator God many times. So he has a set years of gap in the Hindu scriptures that he would incarnate himself, and avatar always means the creator God had come upon the earth.
Avatar significa que el Dios se ha encarnado varias veces. Avatar significa que el ser ese se encarna varias veces y eso es lo que significa.
And the next thing that I have there is the source of evil, what Hindus understand of the source of evil. It's very difficult to trace how evil exists in the world.
La segunda es fuente del mal. Es muy difícil rastrear de dónde vienen estas fuentes del mal.
They do acknowledge it, but they can't really explain the source of it.
Ellos pueden admitir de que existen, pero no pueden explicar de dónde viene esta fuente del mal.
There are good deities, there are bad deities. There are good gods, bad gods, evil gods. But you know what made them evil, there's no good explanation.
Para ellos hay buenos dioses y dioses malos, pero lo que los hace malvados es muy difícil para que ellos lo expliquen.
So the way karma works is that you know, as you're living in this life, we want to liberate ourselves in this cycle so that we are not under the influence of that evil forces anymore.
La manera que karma funciona es que te quieres liberar de ese ciclo para que esas fuerzas no te afecten más.
So a normal life, you know, how does a Hindu view this life? What does he really think about in a day-to-day process? I have 3 points there. One is to attain moksha. If this is somebody who's from, you know, who is from a priestly class who understands scriptures, he would be thinking about moksha.
La manera de que un indio, la vida normal de un indio gira alrededor de este entorno. Lo primero es que tú quieres alcanzar el moksha, dependiendo especialmente si vienes de una familia de pastores que leen la Biblia constantemente o las escrituras constantemente.
So the moksha is typically people who are well versed with the scriptures, the Hindu scriptures, they know that part. At a normal level though, people are actually really trying to appease gods.
So, moksha es para las personas que leen bastante las escrituras a un nivel normal, es para las personas que de verdad quieren calmar a Dios.
So they appease God so that their life would be prosperous now. So that's the other facet. They're trying to avoid as much evil as possible so that their lives would go prosperously and families live a prosperous life.
Así que tú lo que quieres es apaciguar a Dios para que tengas una vida de prosperidad con tu familia y con tu propio ser.
So to obtain the above, they do worship, which is called puja.
Para obtener lo anterior, ellos lo que hacen es adoración, que se le llama puja.
And they do these appeasing ceremonies. Sometimes, they have fire, they have different rituals that they do, and those are called vrata.
Y para ceremonias de apaciguamiento, ellos tienen una ceremonia que se llama brata.
And then, another common term we have heard, it's called yoga. Yoga actually has, again, the pantheistic Hindu worldview loaded into it. Yoga means to align, orient your body and soul in discipline to attain connection to God so that you would attain moksha.
El otro término que tenemos es yoga, que tiene una contextura panteísta, y lo que significa yoga es alinee o oriente su cuerpo y el alma en la disciplina para lograr la conexión con los dioses.
So that's the point of yoga. So there's, sometimes if you've done anything yoga, there is the sun orientation, the moon orientation, there are different things. So they're worshiping the sun god in that posture. They're orienting in a different way so that, those disciplined body activities would help them to do that.
Así que el yoga muchas veces tiene actividades con disciplina en la cual, dependiendo de cómo te muevas, de repente estás buscando al dios del sol o al dios de la luna.
And the next term that I have there is very much, I think we know that this is humanitarian good works or charity that we do. It's called punya.
La otra palabra que tengo es para hacer buenas obras y caridad, se llama puya.
All right. On a day-to-day life, Hindus believe in astrology, the study of stars and planets.
Día a día los indios creen mucho en la astrología.
So that astrological studies revolve around fortune telling. They play an important part in marriages, and they play important part in how they construct houses, and so it is very significant aspect.
Y la astrología tiene un rol muy importante. Muchas veces toma parte en la adivinación, muchas veces toma parte en cómo construyen casas, y también afecta mucho los matrimonios.
So typically all of this fortune telling is done by the priestly class of people. So they are the priests who do it.
Muchas veces esta adivinación toma parte, o las personas que lo hacen son los pastores. Ellos son los que tienen el cargo de la adivinación.
So I use that term guru, the simple meaning for guru is a master, but typically he's the master of Hindu scriptures, right? So he reads scriptures and he will tell you the orientation of planets and stars and what is the effect of them right now.
So, los gurús son los que mayoritariamente son los que toman este tipo de rol. Ellos te van a hablar de la orientación de los planetas y te dirán cómo interpretar la adivinación.
A typical example for that would be a Kundli. It's a loaded Sanskrit term again. A Kundli is a document, and that document has certain things about you as a person that has this whole astrological information about you.
Típicamente se usa un documento que se llama Kundli y es una especie de certificado de nacimiento que tiene mucha información sobre ti.
And it's sort of a birth certificate, really. But so the way it works is that if a child is born, they record the date and the time, and they go consult this guru, and he will draw the Kundli for that person, right? And he will say, okay, he's born on this particular day, Jupiter is aligned in this way, Mars is aligned this way. So he has, a whole configuration of your birth and what all the stars are aligned with your birth on that particular day.
So, normalmente cuando naces te llevan a donde el guru y se le da la información, se le da la fecha en que naciste y la hora. Entonces el Kundli lo que hace es que escribe dependiendo de cómo están los planetas alineados. Si Júpiter está alineado en este lugar, tienes esto. Si Marte está alineado en este lugar, tienes esto. Entonces, dependiendo del alineamiento de los planetas, se te escribe el documento.
So this document is important when you're getting married. So you need to get married to the person whose Kundli matches with yours. So there is, again, a set of rules that go by, and if you're this Kundli, you need to get married to only this person with certain configuration.
Este documento es muy importante cuando te vayas a casar. Si tienes este tipo de documento, nada más te puedes casar con esta otra persona en el que los documentos se complementan. Si no tienes esa complementación, de repente no te puedes casar con esa persona.
And if you don't follow those things, you will bring bad luck upon yourself, and you'll lose the progress that you're making in moksha.
Si no haces caso de esto, vas a traer mala fortuna a tu vida y todo el progreso que has tenido por el moksha se te va a perder.
And you'll see some examples like people, especially girls, that are made to change their name because the guy's Kundli says, okay, everything else matches, but if only your name started with a K.
Muchas veces que verás que las muchachas se cambian el nombre porque los muchachos vienen y le dicen todo lo demás está combinado, está complementado con lo mío, pero si tu nombre empezara con una K, por favor cámbiatelo.
And they change names. I mean, I have classmates, girls, whose name was changed on their wedding day because everything else matched.
Yo tengo amigas que el nombre se le ha cambiado el día de su matrimonio por esto.
Yeah, so again, we need to understand the worldview, right? So they're trying to avoid as much as evil as possible. They're trying to appease gods in the process. And they want good things to be happening in their lives, and we want to avoid as much as evil possible.
De nuevo, ellos lo que quieren es apaciguar a los dioses y quieren evitar lo peor, lo más malo que le ocurra a ellos.
Yeah. Next thing, I put a Parrot fortune teller point there. This is something that happens on the streets, and especially in South India. And Brian and I, we were talking one day, different things about India, and then we went to this conversation about fortune telling, and I just remembered a particular incident about parrots and fortune telling.
Yo quería hablar, Brian y yo estuvimos en este lugar y quería hablar de la adivinación.
So there is a particular group of people, then this is their family tradition. So they have relations with the priestly class, so they belong to that particular class of people. So they, it's astrological, so they have information about planets and stars and different things. They carry this kind of that looks like a deck of cards, and they train parrots to pick a card for you. Okay, we'll play a video in a moment.
Sí, sí, este es un grupo de personas que ellos saben de astrología y también están relacionadas con los pastores y tienen ayuda familiar. Entonces lo que hacen es que entrenan a los loros o a un tipo de pájaro para que escojan unas cartas. Tienen una rema de cartas y entonces los pájaros vienen y cogen cartas, los entrenan para que tomen las cartas.
I say that, they're trained parrots, but they believe that, these are special parrots with some special powers to tell you, among all these configurations of different fortunes, it knows what to pick for you.
Yo pienso que son loros que están entrenados, pero las personas piensan que son loros que simplemente ellos toman la decisión de escoger el tipo de carta que quieren para ti y las configuraciones necesarias.
Again, the worldview is pantheistic, right? So all is God. So Parrot can be God. He has an element of God in him.
La perspectiva de verlo es que panteísta, eso quiere decir que todo es Dios. Entonces los pájaros también pueden ser un Dios y es un punto de vista de verlo.
So let's watch a video for a few minutes here. So you've seen what the parrot has done. So the guy was saying in the video is that the parrot owner asked what his name was, and then the parrot heard his name, and then just because of knowing his name, parrot knew what card to pick. So, and then, he will read out the card, the owner will read out the card and what the fortune card tells and, what he must be doing so that he would, live a good life, be fortunate in what he does and avoid evil as much as he can.
Porque él dice que el loro escuchó el nombre de la persona, el loro fue y escogió la carta, entonces sabiendo eso, con la carta se puede saber cómo él puede vivir una buena vida y tener progreso en cualquier aspecto de su vida.
And sometimes they're true, by the way. Just kidding.
A veces es verdad, bromeando.
My personal experience, I'm a college kid. Maybe I'm in my junior year in India in college. I went to an engineering school, and one time I had an experience.
Cuando estaba en India, yo fui a la carrera de ingeniería y tuve una experiencia un día sobre esto.
So a friend of mine and myself, we were just hanging out in a park somewhere, and these fortune tellers, they carry that little cage around, and find a big tree, and in the shade he will sit, or sit on a sidewalk. That's his livelihood. So we found one of those guys.
So yo estaba con mi amigo y uno de estas personas con su lorito estaban en el parque y lo encontramos en el área donde estábamos. He
asked us a couple of questions. He figured out, we are students of this particular engineering college because nobody else would be a student at that point, right? That's the area. So he asked us a couple of questions. So he figured out, we are engineering students, and then he told the parrot, he actually, this particular guy can actually speak to the parrot, right?
Esta persona nos hizo un par de preguntas y él también dijo que éramos estudiantes ingenieros porque en esa área simplemente había puras personas que estaban estudiando ingeniería, pero esta persona, a diferencia de las otras, le preguntó específicamente a los loros.
So the parrot picked up a card for me and my friend. This other friend was really excited because he's actually a Hindu. The parrot picked up a card for me and my friend, and he told both of us that we will go to somewhere overseas.
Así que el loro tomó dos cartas, una para los dos, dos cartas, y la persona dijo que nosotros los dos nos íbamos a ir a otro lugar fuera de India.
Yeah, so both of us are here in the States right now, so
Y nosotros los dos estamos acá en Estados Unidos,
it's kind of true.
así que es algo cierto.
The next thing I have is Vaasthu. It's called Vaasthu. It's kind of a science about how to build, houses, buildings, and whatnot.
El siguiente término es Vaasthu y es como una ciencia de cómo construir edificios, casas o lo que quieras construir.
And it really comes again from that, pantheistic worldview. The way each corner of the house or a plot is in one particular direction is one God more powerful than the other.
Y de nuevo es una perspectiva panteísta. Cada esquina de la casa tiene como una alineación con Dios. Esta esquina significa esto, esta esquina significa lo otro.
So for example, typically on the northeast side of a house, the fire god is well pleased if he's placed there.
Por lo menos en el noreste, en la esquina del noreste de la casa, si se pone el dios del fuego, si se coloca el dios del fuego, el dios del fuego estará bien contento si él es puesto en esa región de la casa.
So the science would recommend that you would build your kitchen in that corner, no matter what.
Así que la ciencia va a recomendar de que tú construyas tu cocina en esa esquina, no importa lo que pase.
Right, so people who are unaware and they just build a house in a hurry, they were not aware, and they face problems in the family or whatever down the line, and then they realize something's going wrong, it's not quite well, we're not doing well. They will question sometimes, and they probably will visit a guru.
Muchas personas que construyen la casa muy rápido y empiezan a tener problemas y se dan cuenta de que las cosas no están yendo bien, van y consultan a un gurú para ver qué es lo que está sucediendo.
So this guru is now a Vaasthu expert, right? He will tell you, you have built your kitchen in the wrong place, he's angry, you have to demolish the whole thing.
Así que este gurú te va a decir, bueno, has puesto tu cocina en el lugar equivocado, el Dios está bravo, tienes que demoler toda tu casa.
And people actually do it.
Y las personas lo hacen.
Yeah, so it has quite a popularity right now. So now people are more aware of this, and there are a lot more experts out there. People actually go to these guys apart from a civil engineer or both to get their home plans.
Muchas personas van a estas personas a diferencia de ir a un ingeniero civil, o muchas veces van a los dos para ver el tipo de plano que necesitan para construir la casa.
Yeah, so this particular aspect has actually crept into Christians. Like Christians also, kind of have like, okay, should we just check with the Vaasthu guy as well, just to make sure?
Esto particularmente también está afectando a los cristianos. Muchos cristianos van y le preguntan, ¿deberíamos chequear con el Vaasthu para ver si podemos construir de esta manera?
This past year, my dad and myself, we built a house. It's about 2-bedroom house sort of thing. And we consulted a civil engineer for a plan, and this civil engineer would not build the house unless we got an approval from the Vaasthu guy.
Hace un tiempo atrás mi padre y yo consultamos a un ingeniero civil para construir una casa chica de dos recámaras, y este ingeniero civil nos dijo que no nos iba a ayudar si no contratáramos a un Vaasthu.
And then he'll say that, sir, you'll sue me later if things go bad for you. I just want to make sure. Mm-hmm. So we don't quite believe it, but he's insisting us so that we do it.
Y él está diciendo, lo siento, pero me vas a demandar en el futuro si no consultas a esta persona. Entonces él estaba simplemente pidiéndole que consultara al Vaasthu.
So yeah, so you know that's how deeply embedded this fear of evil happening to you, aligning yourself with the gods, you know, aligning yourself with these, you know, planets and stars, so that your life goes well. You know, you see the impact of it in building houses, getting married, your future. You know, there are people who will tell you, you know, all kinds of things, so that you're avoiding evil and bad luck as much as possible.
Esto demuestra cuán profundamente compenetrado está esto con matrimonios, construyendo casas, tu progreso, con muchas cosas de tu vida.
We can talk about a lot of things. It's a vast subject, especially their idea of God and their idea of how the world works and salvation and how to attain moksha. But with the short time that we have, I thought that these aspects would be helpful for us.
Nosotros podemos hablar de muchas cosas. Una de las maneras de hablar es cómo conseguir el moksha, pero como no tenemos mucho tiempo, me parece que estas fueron una de las cosas más importantes que podíamos tocar.
All right, thanks.
Gracias.